Hello, welcome to my tube. I'm doing one early today. I like to do them early in the springtime because I get up early anyway. And, well, it's when a lot of my good thoughts come in, really. We had a pleasant morning. I only laid here about an hour before I had to feed them, feed them, give them their eats. The critters, they eat whenever, you know. It's like a chain effect. Mom gets up to go to the bathroom, and then so Benny hears that, and then shortly after that, there's a train off in the distance. Benny starts getting squirmy and more antsy, and I already know what's gonna happen next. So I just didn't fight it today. I'm just like, okay. So it's 4:30. Who cares? Anyway, God bless you, girl. That was Luna. She sleeps in the living room. So my name's Marge. Did I say that? Welcome to my tube. Yeah, I did. These headaches I get, I tell you what, man. It's funny. Part of the reason, there's a few different reasons why I do these videos. I have few new subscribers. So I'm going to go ahead and disclose why. I have a couple nieces that live far away. They're down in Sacramento and area, and I'm trying to get closer to them, but meanwhile, this is kind of an account of what Poopy's been up to. Aunt Marge. Poopy, I guess in one country, means my father's sister, so that's what I'd like to have them call me. Poop, but not Poopy. I know the difference. There's the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. We'll talk about that later. Another reason is my mom had a stroke when she was 38. Now her memory's not so good, so I don't know what's going to happen to me. So I want to kind of have a video diary of all of my accounts in case they can help somebody else get through something in life, you know. It's another reason. Another reason is I'm an advocate. You know, I speak out for people who just freaking are so tired, because why bother? Because, you know, people don't hear you and listen anyway. I feel like that. I've had that experience. I'm fighting with Uncle Sam right now, you know. I defended him for so long, you know, sticking up for him, and I found out all his wars were fake and stuff. What a disappointment, you know, that it was just all a big good old boys club. That's all that it is. That's all it is. And you know, and then they get to use everybody's money to make these big, expensive killing machines. You know, these guns and these bullets, and just to blow things up and to cause destruction and harm and kill people, and it's making my neck kink now just thinking about it. So when I did that, when I was in the Air Force, I was an engine mechanic. I supported the flight line, which incidentally, the irony in that is amazing, because Mother Nature grounded Uncle Sam. Yeah, because that flight line I supported is now underwater, or I don't know if it is now. It's probably subsided. I still get flood warnings from Omaha, so I'm not real sure about where the flight line is today. But I know that some parts of it had been up to under 8 feet of water. You know, you can't fly your missions now. Missions, man. All the generals that would fly across the country to play golf and stuff, and then fly back across the country so they could be home on General's Row in their freaking $400,000-$500,000 houses, you know, brick homes, immaculate homes that they don't have to freaking pay to live in, and all this stuff, you know. It's all this stuff is just not fair, and that's what I speak against. So as an ace mechanic and supporting the flight line, you know, we're just freaking surrounded by men, you know. And I had to pick up equipment and service it and take it and have it, you know, make sure it had oil and gas and all that stuff. These pieces of equipment were heavy and they were big, and, you know, they had all kinds of heavy cables, like 150 pounds. Man, these cables were for those Dash 86, those Hobarts were heavy, and I'm not a very big girl. I'm like I was 5'3" and 3/4. I've lost 2 inches, you know. So the VA, I'm like, I keep saying my headaches are getting worse and worse and worse. And I exercise and I stretch and I keep the spoon out of my mouth and I don't drink and I don't do drugs, and, you know, I recognize the importance of being appreciative of having mobility in your body, because I watched my mom struggle her whole life with her feet. She was born with left feet, and her appreciation of just, seeing her gratitude for the gift of walking so many people take for granted. She talks about it every day, so I'm constantly reminded of where to be grateful, and how important it is that, our physical, our health is our wealth. And people put wealth on the wrong precedence. So, I'm looking at all these and they always put me in the truck, I was always in the truck. And so I didn't mind. I'm a good driver and stuff, and I like being outside. So then things started getting, too painful. And then I went to the doctor. My back hurt all the time, right? And last year I was in the Air Force. I worked in the office part. I was the TODO. I was in charge of all the tools and stuff like that, because we had over like 10,000 tools. It was a pretty cool job, gig. I really liked it. And I've been out since 2006, and it's 2019, and if you can imagine, how things, progress as far as, and I take really good care of myself, a lot better than most people do, and, back in 2016, I started getting these migraines, and I went to a neurologist. I still lived in Omaha, and they said I had migraines, and then nothing, ever came of it. And then I moved out here, in 2017. I'm like, man, these migraines, man, they're just freaking crazy. So it kept getting worse, right? So I I went back, and then they upped my rating, and I was like, I didn't know you could up your rating for migraines. That's pretty cool. That's really helped help me out a lot, and it's keep me in this house, keep me the difference between homeless and not. And so I was like, wow, that was a blessing, And then I went back because they stepped. And then in 2018, I went back because I'm like, they're getting worse. They're more frequent, And then some doctors said, because then I was and because I said I had used cannabis in treatment, and so he wrote that off, and then I got a letter saying that the VA was going to cancel the benefits, that they were better. I was like, but I went back because they were worse, right? So this started back in October, right? And now we're in March, almost April, right? So I get a call the day before yesterday, Thursday, dealing with, I've been passed on from one VA person to the next, you just can't really get too caught up in that stuff. It's like, whatever, and I was in such a state before that every time I'd hear from sort of state government official, I just freaking shut down, because nobody wants to help me. And if you go back and look at my water thing, I'm trying to pay that bill down to get it turned back on, but it's slow going, because life comes up, and obviously I can live without it. And now my bill's up to, what, $640? I haven't had water since June. Anyway, I get sidetracked. So, but because I've always taken care of business and always known the importance of keeping records and stuff like that, I have all my medical records, right? So on Tuesday, and so what happens, so that's where I was. The woman that got a hold of me on Thursday, she's like, well, the appeal is on the 8th, which is the day before my 45th birthday. Happy birthday. It's my halfway to 90 on the 9th at 11:01 a.m. I'm super excited. I love birthdays, man. Being alive, that's the only thing I have to celebrate, and everything else is all the other holidays are made up, and I don't have a lot of family, so it's just more of a downer than anything. So she's like, and if we could get, well, I had gone, back in just January, I'd gone to see my primary of care and said, these are getting worse, because that's what the VA told me to do, and and I had gone to the emergency room for them, because they're getting worse once, and it just causes too much stress, because I can't leave Loretta, so it's not even worth the hassle. I'll just lay here or do it, because they're they're debilitating sometimes, and they get sensitive light and stuff like that, So I was thinking about it the other night, because I meditate a lot, because I was like, I think that these migraines are related to, I got 2 ratings. One of them was for my migraines, and the other is for, I have spinal trouble. And I was like, I thought about it, and not freaking 4 feet from me in that closet right there, the whole time I've been sitting here, are all my medical records. from the VA, right? So, like, the last year that I worked at TO, I must have, I'm going to count them, but I have them all right there, right? It's like sheet after sheet, because I'd go to the chiropractor like every week. Yeah, yeah. And I just Googled it. I'm like, how can they? I'm like, well, am I like off base here? I mean, can my back alignment be responsible for migraines? So I Google migraine related or migraines related to back alignment, and sure as shit, there's plenty of stuff there, you know. And so I'm gonna take this in and see if my PA, my doctor will write me a letter and just get these freaking people off my back. You know, I fought for Uncle Sam, and now I'm fighting at Uncle Sam. And there's so many veterans, you know, that have to do this, and it's just, and none of them are. How many of them have copies of their medical records? A lot of them are homeless and don't even know where their medical records are. They don't give a shit about computers and logging in and all that crap. They don't care about that stuff. Because as far as they're concerned, they're a person, and you don't recognize them as a person. Their own government, who they defended and supported, and then we find out all this, you know, crap, you know, all you have to do is put in the plant a seed that things are true, you know. Like, I thought MK Ultra, I thought it was like something only in the movies, and if you look it up, you find out yourself. I mean, I've been all over the Library of Congress. This stuff is open to anybody. The stuff that they don't want you to see is blacked out, but what do you expect? Good old boys like keeping secrets. That's why I'm not really into men. Anyway, I guess my point of the story is today is, and you know what, is because I meditate, I think, about an hour a day, is why I was able to get quiet and just, you know, all these parts fell into place that I've always had, you know. And I think it'll be okay, because all they want me, you know, I mean, it should be, if they would have seen the first part of my rating and put that together and even looked at my medical records, and that I went to the chiropractor all the time, and I can't go to the I don't have insurance. So, and everything that his, and the beautiful part about this, I'm going to end up on this. I'm running a little long. I don't like how these are getting a little long. I like keeping her shorter, but is that everything that's happened has all been told a version of in astrology in my chart, and because I know of astrology and how it plays out, and thank God I have enough sense today to not be so much in ego that I drank, you know. Actually, so because I keep my system clean, and I do, you know, my body is my temple, you know. If we're all aspects of God, I gotta do my part into keeping a best representation of my part of the aspect of God. So, hope you have a rad day. Peace.